Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. This is the 6th movie in the Halloween franchise and the 5th movie in the Michael Myers saga. I think that's really the only time I need to say that, because every other Halloween movie, with the exception of number 3, was a Michael Myers movie. All right, let's jump into this. This movie has a story, okay? More than anything else, this movie has a story. The theatrical version of this movie was kind of panned by, like, everybody. It had this really weird jump screen cut in it that a lot of people absolutely hated. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought it was kind of cool. It was the most stylistic of any of the Halloween movies, with the possible exception of number 1, because number 1 kind of invented a style, and it was, probably John Carpenter's seminal work. But it also was not the original version of the movie or the original cut of the movie. This movie made a lot less sense in that version, and the reason, you're not going to believe this, is because it tested poorly with 14-year-old boys. Why are 14-year-old boys, A, going to see a Halloween movie in theaters? Parents, don't let them do that for testing movies. 2, why are you letting 14-year-old boys dictate what the fuck you're doing with your movies? So after over 10 years, 10 to 15 years, I believe was the timeline, of people finding rough cuts of the producer's cut of this movie, floating around, selling them and buying them at conventions. Basically, there was a whole Halloween black market for this movie. The original version of this movie, the one that explained more of the Cult of Thorn, that gave us an ending to a couple of the storylines. Well, the studio listened to us, finally. And a few years ago, they released Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, the producer's cut, which I own. I'm going to say again, I was a fan of the stylized jump screen cuts that were extremely discombobulating and really served no purpose. I kind of liked them. I also kind of liked how brutal some of the shots were in the original version of this movie. However, that producer's cut is far, far superior. And in my opinion, it now ranks as I've seen the theatrical one, which we're live streaming about tomorrow, this movie actually ranks as probably my 3rd favorite Halloween movie of all time. The original, the 2018 continuation of the saga, and The Curse of Michael Myers. I love this movie. The producer's cut is fantastic. It gives so much lore to the Cult of Thorn storyline. The Curse of Thorn storyline. It tells you exactly what the rune that you've been seeing in the last movie means. It gives a reason for Michael to shed that tear at the end of 5 when he's talking with Jamie. That it's not just a breakdown of this psychotic, methodic, brutal killer. That there actually is a slice of humanity that was still there, that has not been completely whittled away and destroyed by the evil force that's driving him. This movie is also dark with its implications, considering Jamie Lloyd is pregnant at the very beginning and gives birth. We find out later that it's hers and Michael's baby. So we now have incest in the Michael Myers storyline. As far as I can tell, Jamie Lloyd is not a willing participant. We also have rape as a plot device in the Michael Myers storyline. I hate rape as a story device. I really, really do. In this context, in the way they utilized it, it actually kind of works. I do wish that the Cult of Thorn storyline was continued on, but after this movie bombed, they decided that they were going to abandon all hope with it and reboot the series with Halloween H2O. But the story does continue in comic book form, which I'll talk a little bit more about tomorrow on our live stream. But This movie is good. If you can get the producer's cut, which I got on Amazon for like $7. I believe it's also in the Blu-ray box sets. You're going to get the producer's cut of this movie. Watch it. If you've only seen the theatrical cut of this movie, you have not actually experienced this movie. You need to see the producer's cut in order to make the other movies make sense. This movie makes much more sense. You get to understand why things were going the way they're going. In the original version, Jamie dies just by Michael shoving her down on some spikes. She dies so unceremoniously. And we've been following her for 2 other films. In this movie, she still dies unceremoniously, but it's more poetic. Because of a couple of lines that are spoken right before she dies, it's far more poetic. And considering this movie was supposed to have another 1 or 2 sequels after it, it makes a lot more sense. This is another movie that also does not work in a vacuum. It makes much more sense than the other ones would or do, but you need number at least 5 in order to make this movie make sense. Otherwise, it's just kind of, okay, why are you making Myers evil now? I preferred it when he was just evil incarnate, and now you're throwing in a cult and people are helping him and stuff like that. Well, I like that anyway, and I like that in the storyline, but you still have the pure evil behind the eyes with the context that this movie gives you. So take that as what you will. Not a lot of people that I've talked to have seen this producer's cut. Not a lot of people that I've talked to even know that this exists. So if you've seen the Curse of Michael Myers and you've only seen the theatrical cut, once again, find the producer's cut, watch that, and then make your assessment of this movie. Because it changed... I liked the first one anyway, the first version, but it changed my entire perspective. Like, this movie is good. It's really, really good, at least in my opinion. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribing if you have not already. And tune in tomorrow for our live stream where myself and another podcaster are going to be discussing the Halloween reboot 2018. It's still called Halloween. It's not a remake. Continuation? Reboot? I don't know. We'll figure out what to call it tomorrow. Peace. See you then.